West End Theatre. I'm Joshua Sullivan and I play Albus Potter.
I'm Tamia-Renée and I play Rose Granger-Weasley.
I'm Kai and I play Scorpius Malfoy.
My name is Tom Aldridge and I play Ron Weasley.
Hello, I'm Naana Agyei-Ampadu and I play Hermione Granger.
And I'm David, Ricardo Pearce, I play Harry Potter.
The chance to travel backwards in time or to see in the future?
Travel backwards in time, I don't want to know what the future holds.
Backwards.
Yeah.
I want to see the future.
I'm going to the future to get the lottery numbers and I'll see you guys all later.
It's going to be...
I want to see the future because I want to know that my life's going to be okay. Do you know what I mean?
You have to live with that.
And then does being in the show at the 10-year mark feel like a privilege, or is there so much pressure in being part of it at such a significant moment?
Nah, privilege. There's no pressure at all.
No, I think it's a privilege. I think it's lovely, you know, huge celebration of an incredible achievement for a two-part show. I think it's the only two-part show to have got 10 years in the West End, and that's a huge commitment from the audience in lots of different ways. And I think for a part show to get to 10 years in the West End is an incredible achievement. It's a privilege, and it's exciting.
Very much feel like we're standing on the shoulders of the giants who've come before us in these roles before us, you know. And it's such a wonderful feeling to be able to celebrate 10 years of this show, you know, with us. It's amazing.
It's much easier than opening a show.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure, yeah.
10 years, a very big milestone. I think it's fantastic in the theatre to have been a show that's been so beloved and has been able to be sustained for 10 years. It shows that people love it enough to even keep coming back. So for that, I think it's, you know, an honour that it's gone on for this long.
Harry, Ron and Hermione are arguably the most beloved trio in modern fiction. Is there a weight to that?
It's an interesting question, this, about how much responsibility we have as actors to the characters of Harry, Ron and Hermione, because I don't personally feel any pressure or weight. Like, this version of him is not so known. He's a dad, he's older, he's been through 19 years of, you know, having children and his way through the ministry and, you know, he's a different to the 18-year-old that you last met in the book. So yeah, I try not to worry about that too much.
I do understand where David's coming from, where you can't allow the weight to sort of take over. You do. For me, though, the thing that I kind of carry is the time after the show, when you meet the audience members who love these characters so much, and when they talk about the characters, they talk about things that have happened in their life that they feel they've been able to get over because they saw this person in the book and they felt a certain level of strength for them. And so for me, I guess it's less of a weight and more of a privilege. I think also just thinking about the love of the book, one of the things that I remember when I read it and my sons read it was, oh, it could be me. And I think that's what people love. They love the fact of this boy who was effectively being, you know, mistreated but didn't realise he had all of this power and this whole other life. And I think there's a lot of young people when they read it, if they're going through a tough time, there's that little spark that one day I might be like Harry and something good might turn up, or something magical might turn up into my life and let me know that all of the things that I went through, it didn't last forever, because there was a light at the end of all of this. And I think telling that story and being able to show that, yes, these characters you love did go through all of this stuff in the books, but they also survived and they thrived and they had families and they went on to do more. And it's that thing of, you will be okay. I think that's what is the weight that I feel when I'm on stage.
There's a lot of themes throughout Harry Potter that a lot of human beings relate to and find really, really, really appealing. Like love, truth, justice, good over evil, you know, these are all themes that hit and get everyone in their feels, you know, regardless of age, whatever. And I think the fact that it's shown through this fantastical medium of like magic and fantasy and kind of mystical world with dragons and trolls and witches and wizards and whatnot, but at the core of everything is the humanity, the love of the story. And I think that's what people come back to, you know, it's what makes the story good. Yeah. Well,
Albus and Scorpius are one of the great unlikely friendships in the Harry Potter story. What do you think it is about those two that resonate so deeply with audiences?
I think that, first of all, they're sort of two sides of the same coin. They both don't fit in, they're both misfits, but they both deal with that in very different ways. Like, Albus is very outwardly angry at the world and sort of destructive and impulsive, whereas Scorpius is, he uses humour and, personality to disguise his more darker thoughts. So I think they're sort of like the yin to each other's yang.
For sure. I think it's for a lot of people as well, because it's like, it is an unlikely friendship, it's a Malfoy and a Potter, and yet they end up being best friends, and I think that's meant to meet at the exact right time, regardless of like their families, their history, and they choose to move forward from that. They choose to put the past behind them and just, this is who you are, this is who I am, let's be friends,
Which aspect of your character surprised you the most?
I mean, for me, I think that it took me by surprise when I first read the script and started playing it, was how much unresolved trauma Harry carries with him. He's never dealt with it up until the time of this particular play. He begins to address it. But yeah, that was a surprise for me.
For me, it's just Hermione's ability to still be quite fastidious in her learning and wanting to get things right and rising to be Minister for Magic. I mean, she's reached the pinnacle that she would have dreamed of. And yet still, the playful fun that her and Ron have, that love and the joy that their relationship brings to her and the grounding of that relationship, I think that's what I've really loved from seeing this play.
Yeah, I think for me, going from what Naana said really, is that without giving too much away, each character kind of lives in different points of play and in different timelines and different universes almost. And for Ron and Hermione, whatever universe they're in, whatever version of time they're in, they are absolutely head over heels in love with each other. And I think that's one of, for me and for Ron's in the show, that's one of the most beautiful kind of through lines through the show for Ron, is that it doesn't matter where he is or what's happened, it doesn't matter who won the war, he's still in love with Hermione, and that's really lovely for me.
Rose is often seen as the golden girl with the weight of her parents' legacy on her shoulders. How do you play that?
Having her parents as Hermione and Ron, that's a big thing for her, and so it kind of gives her that confidence already. Very headstrong, and she knows who she is. She's loved by all the students at Hogwarts as well, which I think kind of gives her a bit of ego boost. And she just doesn't shy away from like anyone, and the boys don't intimidate her. Like, they don't intimidate me. And I think that kind of confidence, just be her own person. When you do see her, she's always got a massive presence, and she's, you know when she's there, because she doesn't fail to tell you when she's there. It's a very good quality that she has.
Thomas, what's it been like to play the role for 9 years? And if you were to go back in time, what would be different for if we saw you from 9 years ago to today?
The bags under my eyes different, definitely. No, I think for the honour of my career is to play this, to be the custodian of this role that it means so much to people. And I would say I can remember stood in that wing over, I was having my first night and stepping into a show that was already the biggest show on the planet, and being utterly terrified. And I think if I could go back and just say it's going to be all right, and you're actually still going to be in 9.5 years, you did all right. I think it's probably I would say to myself, because I was so terrified of something that was already huge and so loved, and very much felt like I pick up the baton and not drop the ball. But yeah, it's just been an honour.
Come see Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Absolutely.
be a great time.
2 months
No
left
pun intended.
until the two-parter is no more.